Nintendo, we need to talk. So Nintendo, I'm trying to understand your marketing strategy, if you will. So, if everyone didn't see today, Nintendo just announced that they are going to finally release Fire Emblem for the NES localized. So for the longest time, we have never gotten Fire Emblem games out here in the West. And the only reference that a lot of people remember is when Marth and Roy appeared in Super Smash Bros. Melee on the GameCube. And I like the little advertising where it showed them playing Melee, and the kids are going like, who's this Marth guy? And one kid goes, oh, you don't know? He's part of this series that Nintendo never produced and you never heard about. And I only knew about because my dad has high-speed internet. And then they go to the trailer and they show off all the cool things that, like, it's finally being officially localized. No fan-translated ROMs or emulators you need. You can just pick this up, play it on your Switch. And I also noticed that they have a lot of quality of life hacks. So there are going to be save states. There's going to be, you know, rewind features. Stuff that's going to make Mike Matei's head explode. So they announced that it's going to be $5.99 on the eShop as the digital purchase. And they're going to make this collector's edition that's going to have like an art book, a Nintendo Power poster, all this cool little stuff. No physical game, obviously. You're still going to have to get a download code and get it off the eShop. And then they did the thing that they've done for the last two announcements. It's going to get delisted right away. It's going to be delisted the same day as the Super Mario 3D All-Stars Collection and the servers for Super Mario 35, which Nintendo, do not take that down. It is the only Battle Royale game I am good at, and you will not take that down. Like, Nintendo, we have to talk about this. Like, why are you announcing these limited time things when it's digital? It's not costing you that much to keep it up on a storefront. Now, people are saying, like, is this going to be, like, a revamp to the eShop, and that's why they're taking everything down? Well, it can't be, because this is a physical item, and they're going to take this off the shelf March 31st, 2021. So, I have no earthly idea what you're planning, Nintendo. But you need to tell the public about it. Because to us, this seems like super duper shady practices. And to me, you guys have been the one company that has been so anti-emulation and preservation of your older systems and games. But with this strategy of taking everything off on March 31st, you are actively telling people, go pirate these games after they're gone, but don't, because we'll sue you. Like, honestly, each one of these cases should have a sticker that says, okay to steal on April 1st. Because you can't physically get this anymore. Now, let's say, like, if there are parents out there that have been waiting forever to get a Nintendo Switch for their children, but can't because these things are really hard to come by because of the pandemic, because you're not making enough of them, and most stores are only trying to carry the essential stuff and not stupid video game stuff that, you know, brings us joy and happiness. So you mean to tell me that little Jimmy gets this thing April 1st, 2021, but wants to play a bunch of Mario games and a Japanese strategy game that was only available to the Japanese market, and you're gonna tell him, no, you don't get to have that. You should have bought our console beforehand. Like, did they know that, like, maybe the world's gonna come to an end on April 1st, 2021? Like, they don't have any plans for a new console at all. Like, they're making bank on the Switch right now, so why does it matter if these things stay on the eShop past March 31st? It makes no goddamn sense. Now, is our household going to get Fire Emblem NES for $5.99 on the eShop? Of course. My wife loves Fire Emblem. Of course this is day one purchase for us. But it's going to be more of a necessity to be a day one purchase because Nintendo is telling you you can only buy it between this date and this date. And that makes no goddamn sense. Now, I understand some delistings of games, like with the Scott Pilgrim game. Ubisoft lost the license to the rights of the comic or the movie or whatever, so they legally could not sell the game anymore. And a lot of this also comes down to like old WWF games, old roster. Every time you sell that, you've got to pay residuals to those former wrestlers. Also, in the case of a lot of racing games, those companies lose the rights to those cars. I mean, we've seen 3 or 4 Forza Horizon games or Forza Motorsport games gone from the storefront because they lost the license to those cars. They can't sell them anymore. But these are Nintendo-owned properties and franchises. You mean to tell me that March 31st, the license to sell Mario on a Nintendo console's gone? That makes no sense. Nintendo, I really am curious to what your strategy is. Doug, Booby, tell us what's going on. Nintendo Japan president, I don't know your name. Tell us what's going on. Yeah, so that's my rant on Nintendo. You're forcing me to buy this shit. And once again, don't take Mario 35 off the eShop. Don't shut the servers down. I'm good. Like, look. I beat Craig Skitz. Craig Skitz. Don't take that away from me.